Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into the Sunday triple header we have coming to you guys live from the NFL. This is where we're going to talk about 3 games. I'll give you guys my best bets, the edges that I do find, as well as some of the prop bets that I'll be keying in on. We're going to talk about each of these 3 games in its entirety. I'll give you guys my analysis, also some of the game strips that I do see this playing out, and it's something where this is one of my favorite weekends to bet the NFL action, and we're going to talk about it right now on the channel. So let's get into it. Make sure you guys all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you're watching these videos, make sure you also follow me on X. The handle is in the bottom left of your screen. We also have a free Discord and a channel membership available if you guys want to join us and support TBM Sports. Appreciate you all and all my channel members. I hope you guys are all doing well. Have a great weekend. Feel free to message me on Discord, say what's up, and let's get into the picks, okay? To do so, we are going to look into Outlier, and this is where we're going to talk about the first game on the card, okay? That's where we're going to be looking at the Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos, and boy, what a great venue to have a January football game. One of the best home field advantages in all of sports outside of Arrowhead, playing in Buffalo. This is going to be a good one, and the Denver Broncos are not going to be a team such as the Miami Dolphins that are not accustomed to cold weather and the snow. Denver's used to it. They're built for it, mile high. It's going to be there, the training. They're going to be prepared for this game, and what a year for Bo Nix. One of my favorites. He actually was my number 1 quarterback coming out of the NFL draft last season in my draft analysis. And, you know, for my money, I'm backing that claim. I think he gets the Rookie of the Year. He would get my vote. I think he's done more with the Broncos. Jaden Daniels is a great talent, great football player. It's been a great story for what he's done with that Commanders club. I think a couple games off with injuries, and I think Bo Nix had to do a little bit more with less to get to where they're going to and where they've come already. Okay, so let's talk about this game. We do see the total. This is a big number here, 8.5 for the Bills, and a number set at 47.5. Now the Bills have taken the majority of the handle in terms of 8.5. However, this is important to understand. The line has really not moved. Okay. Also, same thing goes for the total. We haven't really seen too much movement with that. A little bit of a tick up from 47.5 to 48. As we look at it, guys, both of these teams are great to the over, okay? 11-6 and 10-6-1, respectively. Also, they do cover the number, 12-5 and 10-7 ATS on the season for both clubs. For me, guys, I think this is something where we look into the argument that it's just tough to beat Buffalo at home. Okay, so if you guys are into teaser legs, this will probably be the number 1 bet teaser leg in all of the NFL action, taking the 8.5 down to 2.5 out of all the games available. Okay, and I don't mind it. I know it's chalky, but I still like it. I can back it. You look at what Denver had to do to get in. They beat Kansas City 38-0. That was a great story, but we all know that Kansas City rested their players. But for me, guys, it's taken a lot, and I think that the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, the MVP season, they're at home. Don't overthink this one. This isn't going to be some Tebow magic with Denver in the playoffs against Pittsburgh, so to speak. I think that the Broncos are just a little bit out of class, okay? Sean Payton, transitioning from a rookie quarterback from Russell Wilson. The list goes on. It doesn't matter. I think the Bills are going to win this game and win it convincingly at home. The experience factor does play a role, and the Bills are going to be ready to go in this spot. Now, a couple of the props that I do like, and I want to share with you guys what I'm going to talk about right now, okay? First one is Bo Nix. I do like his pass yards and rush yards over 249.5, okay? He's eclipsed this in 4 of his last 5. And as we look into 2024, 65% on the year. The number's set right where it needs to be. It's going to be a close bet, but this is one that I do like. I favor over 249.5 to compete. If the Bills put up a lot of numbers, this game does go over. Bo Nix is going to have to get it done through the air. Cortland Sutton's having a great, outstanding season. Also, we can look at Mims and their tight ends that they do have, as well as their backfield. A lot of great options in terms of swings and dump-offs. I look for Bo Nix to really get it done, and he's going to have to do a little bit more on his feet as well. So Bo Nix over pass and rush yards, 249.5, okay? Also, a little chalky, but if you guys are building parlays, one of the best bets I have on the entire weekend is Ray Davis, over a half reception, okay? This is a bet minus 160. It's a juiced up number. I have no problem laying that 160. I'm not going to take his receiving yards because he could get stuffed at the line. Just give me one grab over a half reception at minus 160, laying 160 to win 1 unit. That's kind of how I'm going to bet this. Love me some Ray Davis, okay, in this spot. Couple other props to talk about. Marvin Mims over 19.5, longest reception. That's another lean I have in this game. I think he's kind of the sneaky outlier. I know a lot of the action and sharps are on Denver plus 8.5, plus 9, and that's why we're seeing some buy down despite having a lot of that money on the Bills. So kind of a number where you do see the majority of the money on one side, but you get the line movement in the other direction. Also, Josh Allen, if you do want to back the rushing yards, I don't hate it. Over 40.5 is the number you can find it. This is something where he's averaging close to that number in the regular season. I think he gets it done, shows his MVP legs, and he does run the ball a little bit more so in the playoffs. I think, too, if we get some inclement weather, that could lend towards the argument where he's going to just throw the ball less. There's one quarterback in my lifetime outside of Tom Brady that if the weather's bad, there could be 2 feet of snow. Josh Allen just has that arm. Wind, rain, snow, especially snow. I just never bet against Buffalo in the snow, and that's kind of where I'm at. 8.5 is a big number, but I have no problem teasing that down, taking it to 2.5, and that's kind of where I'm at for this spot, okay? Also, I do like the narrative of the over. That's another lean I have as well, okay? The next game on the card that we're going to talk about is the one that I think everybody's keying in on. That is the NFC matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? Philly minus 4.5 and over 45.5. This was one of the bets I made as soon as the number was released. I took Philly minus 3.5. Probably my favorite bet of just picking a side that's not just some crazy number, okay? Love Philadelphia in this spot. Also, you talk about kind of the narrative, and we get the likes of that Philly defense has played outstanding. Green Bay's a little banged up, but also Jalen Hurts will play. Obviously, we knew that. There was some concussion concerns, but Philadelphia is the correct side. That's where my money's going to be spent. I have them in a lot of parlays, a lot of options at 3.5. Now the number's at 4.5. I don't like it as much, but if you can get a 4, you have the push available. I like Philly minus 4. I don't think this is going to be some scare we got last year where Green Bay just absolutely lit up the scoreboard against Dallas and kind of defied the logic there. Philly's been tried and true, 14-3 on the season. I just like their pedigree a little bit more. I do like the Packers, though, but this is a spot where I think it's just a horrible matchup for the Pack in this one, traveling to Philadelphia. Okay. Something else I do like in this spot, I think that Philly runs the ball a lot. They rested Saquon Barkley. He had a chance at Dickerson's record for rushing yards. They conversed, they deliberated, and they chose not to suit him up for that Week 18 game. Now, this is kind of where I look into them absolutely leaning on their workhorse. So it does lend towards the argument Saquon rushing up, Saquon rushing receiving up, and Jalen Hurts will not throw the ball a lot, okay? Right now, you can see total passing attempts at 28.5. I just don't see a way that he gets close to 30 passing attempts in this game. All right, I think this is something where they will be heavily shifted and weighted towards running the football. That's what the game script is, in my opinion, okay? They've showed that also it's gone up. As the season's gone on, they have ran the ball more and more and more, okay? It's just not going to have enough passing attempts, I think that. So that's something where Jalen Hurts under 28.5 passing attempts is something that I look for. Also, Jordan Love, how healthy is he, okay? So outside of that, guys, if you want to dabble in the Josh Jacobs touchdown market, sure, I could see an angle for that. But for me, guys, this is one where we're going to be solely kind of playing the Saquon Barkley over 103.5 rushing yards. If you look at this in his last 5 games, look at these numbers. Only against Pittsburgh did he have 65, but last week against Dallas, that's kind of Dallas, Carolina, Washington, Jacksonville. That's kind of the only thing that really does bug me is because they are literally the bottom 10 in order, basically, of worst teams and in defending the run. If we look into this a little bit more deeper, Green Bay against rushing yards allowed, 7th in the NFL. So they do kind of lend towards the argument this could go under. I just don't see it. I think Saquon gets 50 and he does bust one. So I do think that he's going to eclipse 100 yards. Whether or not he gets over 103.5, I don't really quite frankly care. It's a bet that you almost have to take until you fall flat on your face. So I'm going Saquon over 103.5 rushing for this game, okay? The touchdown market, it's a little bit crazy. You can find minus 163. I have no problem laying that, actually. I kind of like it. The only problem with that is you do always have the tush push in play where Jalen Hurts can sneak and obviously vulture up some of those touchdowns within the 5-yard line. But I do like Saquon getting into the end zone as well. Okay. And then also within this, I kind of want to allude to the fact that if we do get a game, right, where Green Bay does compete, this will be kind of lower scoring, in my opinion. That's the only way that Green Bay keeps this one close is they're going to have to score points. But I just don't see it. I trust Philly's defense a little bit more, and I will go with the Phillies here. Not the Phillies. The Philadelphia Eagles minus 3.5 is my official play for this game. But I do like it at 4 if you can find a way to get rid of that hook. And I will not take it at 4.5. But I do think Philly is the correct side, and that's kind of where I'm at for this game. The next one here we are going to talk about is the Commanders and the Buccaneers. So this is a game where we want to look back at some recency, okay? So let me pull this up for you guys so that you can see kind of where they were at. They played each other this season, and this is kind of where the head-to-head, this was played back on September 8th. This is where it was a 37-20 game in favor of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, when I look at this matchup, okay, Tampa Bay was a 3-point favorite. And now, if we look in their last 9 games, they have covered 6 out of their last 9. Now, Tampa Bay is another 3-point favorite. Okay, this game will be played at home once again. Tampa Bay is the side I'm on, minus 2.5. I would take juiced up minus 120. That is the number that I will bet. I like Tampa Bay minus 2.5. Also, I do want to tell you guys that I do like the over quite a bit once again. And that's kind of where my head's at. But more so in this game, I like the props for the Commanders and the Buccaneers. This is probably one of the better prop betting games. If you guys do touchdown parlays, something along those lines, and let's get into it. Okay, first and foremost, Terry McLaurin, all right, in his last 7 games, he's scored a touchdown and at least 1 touchdown in 6 of his last 7. Plus 140 is insane value for that number. Love me some Terry McLaurin getting into the end zone at plus 140. One of my favorite bets. Also, one of my favorite bets is Jaden Daniels, longest rush over 14.5. Okay, he's eclipsed this in 5 of his last 6 games. If you look back into the matchup on Tampa Bay back in September, he had 1 rush of 17 yards with a total rushing output where he had, I believe it was, how many did he have? I believe it was 45 or 35. Or actually, no, he had 88 rush yards against Tampa Bay back in September. So I think Jaden Daniels is running the ball less, but I think that the over 49.5 rushing yards as well as the longest rush, those are both props I do like for Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to play him to get into the end zone, but I do like the rushing yards over and the rushing longest rush going over that as well, okay? Also, first quarter rushing yards. I like that one quite a bit. He had 30 against Tampa Bay in September, over 9.5. Take that on FanDuel. Jaden Daniels getting over first quarter rushing yards as well. Now, we're going to get into some of the, one of the bigger kind of, I guess you call it home run plays. It's a value play. It's something that, if you look at it, guys, it's hit in 5 of his last 5 games. Jalen McMillan, anytime touchdown scorer, okay? One of Tampa Bay's greatest weapons, I think. Mike Evans, everybody talks about him, you know, breaking or tying Jerry Rice's record, breaking it, whatever. That's all fine and dandy. But right now, you can find plus 160 for Jalen McMillan to score a touchdown. Absolutely insane value for a number that I do expect for this game to be played into the 50s. And you do get Jalen McMillan having this completed in 5 of his last 5 games. Talk about Washington. They're to the wide receiver position, 6th in touchdowns allowed to wide receivers in the NFL. Overall, though, 19th in touchdowns allowed. So you do have that narrative where, Bucky Irving getting in. But I do like Jalen McMillan to score a touchdown. And that's going to lead me into my next bet. Okay, and that's Baker Mayfield. We are going to be taking him over 1.5 passing touchdowns at minus 168. great parlay builder. He's hit this in 6 of his last 7. Head-to-head, he hit it in 2024. This has clipped a 71% rate, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So big game Baker needed out of him. I know it's juiced up minus 168, but there's a reason. This is one of my more confident bets as well. Hell, Mike Evans might have 2 touchdowns himself. So that's another bet that I do like on this Sunday card. So Sunday, the evening game within Tampa and Washington, by all accounts, that's setting up to be a prop betting paradise, okay? And then lastly, Baker Mayfield, I think he goes over his pass yards pretty easily here against Washington. He had 359 against Carolina. I know that was an overtime game. 221 against New Orleans. Didn't really need to throw much, and he still almost eclipsed 253. Head-to-head, he had 289 against Tampa. This number's way too low. The weather's going to be nice in Tampa as well. So give me Baker Mayfield over his 253.5 passing yards. Also, if you do want to get kind of risky, he runs the football. Okay, big games. He's really put his legs on the line. The pass and rush at 274.5. I do like that one quite a bit. In 2024, this is hit at 65%. I think this is a little bit more so higher than I'd like to play it, but I do think it's a great avenue as well. Also, the rush yards for Baker, we saw last week he had 68. He's really eclipsing his rush yards at 20.5. I think this one's firmly in the cards. If we want to look back into that game, he just had 21, so I don't love it, but I will tell you guys it's one of the bets that I truly do like as well. If you want to look into the longest rush, right now, that's set at 10.5, right at the mark where he had 11 rushing yards against Washington back in September as well. But if we want to look at 2024 in its entirety, this is hit just a tick below 47, below 50% at 47%. So I'm not in love with that as well, but I do favor Baker rushing, Jalen Daniels rushing, and as well as all the other bets I laid out for you guys in the Tampa Bay and Washington matchup we have at 8 o'clock on Sunday Night Football. So that'll about wrap it up. I appreciate you guys all watching. Those are a smorgasbord of picks for the Sunday slate. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Also, feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys will be betting. Also, I'll see you guys over in the Discord. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace.